Hey YouTube, welcome back to vlog number 2. So it's been a while since my last vlog, and on that last vlog I mentioned that I was heading away for a competition and I might talk about it. So here we are, talking about my trip to Sydney. So last week I went down to Sydney to play in the APFA Club Championship. It was my second or third time playing. I believe this is the 5th time it's been held. And it's gone from a couple of clubs up to 11 competed this time. So quite a field of players. Organising an airplane booking for a wheelchair is not as simple as I would like it to be. Booking online is fairly straightforward actually, and there is an option to select a special assistance with your ticket purchase, which is really good. But you have to ring the airline company's phone number. And as many good Aussie companies have done, they have offloaded their phone lines to overseas. Yay me. So my electric wheelchair is classed as a dangerous goods by airlines. So that means I have to get a dangerous goods letter so that it will be allowed on board. I sent a request in about a week and a half before my flight and I hadn't heard anything back. And so I had to end up chasing him up 2 days before my flight, and it actually went pretty fast then because I got a hold of a phone number and rang, and they're like, yep, we'll send you through the stuff. So in the end that worked out fine. Now my other issue was that I wanted to take 2 wheelchairs, and the good folks on the phone couldn't give me a clear answer because they hadn't been trained to answer that question. So yeah, so one mobility device is allowed, and actually I think maybe a couple, but I think equipment might be what I'm thinking of there. So like shower commodes and stuff like that, walkers. So you're allowed one mobility device free of charge because yeah, you need it, so they will allow. So I wanted to take 2 wheelchairs because I went down to play a sport, and I need my sports chair, but I also need my day chair. And as someone who doesn't get hoisted, I transfer. Um, trying to transfer out of my sports chair is nearly impossible to anything higher than 30 centimeters. And you're not going to find things that are at about a 30 centimeter height. So yeah, I needed both chairs, and I couldn't get a direct answer from the airline. So yeah, that caused a lot of frustration and panic. But luckily, I had a teammate who had already offered to take some wheelchairs down on the drive because they were driving, and I took them up on the offer, and that fixed it up for me. So I really had one less worry for the trip. So the flight itself actually went relatively smooth. I've been flying since 2015, and I would say it was probably one of the easiest and best flight I've had going down. And so yeah, it was good that it went off without a hitch. So we stayed out in Olympic Park where we were going to play. And yeah, so I chose the Pullman Hotel, the picture here. And yeah, so I think it's rated a 5-star, and yeah, it was a good room. Unfortunately, the bathroom was pretty tight, and the toilets, well, the bathroom was pretty tight with the way it was set out. The toilet was especially difficult for me as I transfer, and the seat came up to the height of my footrest. So yeah, it was quite difficult to use that all week. But I'm still here, so yeah, I used it. On to the good part of the story, the competition itself. That is what I went down for. So my team, it was their inaugural year last year for the local league, and we all said, yep, let's go down and play, so we did. I didn't know how we would do. I thought we'd do alright. So yeah, I knew it was going to be hard. So, and hard it was. So we were the very first team to take the field. On day one, we took on North Auckland. It was a pretty rusty game for us. We hadn't played or trained since November, at least, I think. So, yeah, that ended in a 0-0 score. Very rusty from my team, I reckon, and theirs as well, as both teams were trying to find their feet. So, we had to back up a couple of hours later against Sydney FC. And that ended in a 1-1 draw. It was a very tight game. We finally found our footing and Sydney scored, but we managed to pull one back late in the game and it ended 1-1. But we felt really good coming out of that game, like we had started going forward. And yeah, it proved that we could do way better than that 0-0 draw in the start of the day. So we come back for day 2 and we played Western Sydney Wanderers. So normally, before a tournament, before each day, you would get speed tested. And the rule of the tournament is that every chair must go under 10 kilometers an hour. And if you're not, you get one go. If you fail that, well, you get 2 go. If you fail your first attempt, you have to reset your settings to go under 10 if you can. If you fail that a second time, you are rubbed out for the half. And unfortunately, we had 2 players rubbed out for the half. So that meant that it was 2 players versus 4. And we did nothing but defend for the whole 20 minutes. Because that's all we could do. It was an experience. I've never quite done that before. I defend. My teammate, credit to him, he kept the other team on their toes. Just one player out there when normally it's 3, 2 next to him. So 4 on the team. Sorry, should have mentioned that. So yeah, it was an experience. They ended up scoring late in the game once we had all 4 players back. We were just tired at the end, I think. We tried our best, but I was a little bit tired and yeah, the ball just slipped past us. So that ended in a 1-0 loss. And yeah, we were still pretty confident after that. So we come back to the next day 3, and it was Newcastle Jets, a very polished team. They had showed up until this point. And spoilers, they eventually won the tournament. So we ultimately went down 2-1, but again, we fought all the way and we felt very good about the game. And we felt unlucky with the result again. But that's the rub of the Greens. I think that's the same. We'll stick with that. So we come back for day 4 and we took on a very strong Perth Glory outfit. And they were at the top of the chart, at the top of the ladder, and I think Yeah, they were at the top of the ladder on that day, and they ultimately we went down again, 3-1. But we were still happy with our game. It was just little things that, they capitalised on, and so ultimately, yeah, we weren't getting the results we wanted, but we were still happy with how we played. So that's all you can ask for. So we come back for day 5, and probably our worst performance yet. Not that we had terrible performances up until this, but we took on a fellow local Queensland side, Brisbane City FC, my old team actually, and we went down 5-1. I was super tired. For whatever reason, I was burnt out, super tired. And it's no excuse, but yeah, they got 5 goals on us. I managed to score a goal. I achieved what I wanted for the week. Wasn't the circumstances I wanted, but I got a goal, and I think that was the good thing I took out from the game. And yeah. So day 6. So because of how things went and the tournament didn't exactly go how we wanted, we ended up playing off the 9th against another local team, the Brisbane Strikers. The Strikers were without their top player, and they had brought in a captain of another of our local team. He had been working, and they had been trying to gel together for the week, and both us and them finished in similar positions on the ladder, so we had to take on each other for the game. We ended up winning that, our first game for the tournament. We had some solid plays, and we ended up taking that 3-1. And so we come away with some good positives from the game, the tournament. We will get to play in a couple of weeks. We're starting our pre-season for the new season, so hopefully we'll use what we've done for the season and build on it. And I think we'll be stronger this year for what we've done for this Sydney trip. On the last day, we had a bit of time to kill, so I could only manage to get a late flight, which was about 6 p.m, which eventually got delayed by an hour, but we didn't know that until we got to the airport. So, yeah, we had a bit of time to kill on the last day, and we didn't know what to do. We were thinking of going to the harbour, but in the end we decided there wasn't enough time, and so I suggested a tour of ANZ Stadium, which actually turned out to be pretty cool. Pretty interesting tour. I love tours. Like, I've been to the MTG and that was great. I have another video on that actually you might want to check out. But yeah, it's a pretty good thing, the ANZ Stadium and the workings, and yeah, and the media boxes, and yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, we got to learn a bit about it, pre-Olympics and post-Olympics, and yeah, that took up a fair chunk of time and allowed us to just eat up the day before we headed to the airport. So that was my number 2 blog. I hope you enjoyed everything I've said today. You come back again and we'll see what I have for blog number 3. Or maybe comment below, like and subscribe as well. And let me know what you may like me to talk about.